Alright, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Alright, we're live. And today, as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, I'm going to be going through Vector2 and target logic in Python. So, yeah, let's go to my gameplay screen. And guys, if you guys see like I'm a little exhausted, that's because I just got 5 hours of sleep yesterday. I'm still not kind of done with my college work because I do have an exam. That said, let me get Sensei here. Okay, let me say Sensei, I'm live, exclamation. Okay, Vivek, listen up, viewers. Your boy Vivek just went live, and today isn't just another stream. Today is war. We're not playing games. We're forcing weapons out of codes. We're diving into vector and target mechanics, the very foundation of making projectiles hunt down their prey. Every mistake will be punished. Every success will be praised, and by the end, Vivek will walk out sharper, faster, and deadlier with Python. So buckle up, Chad, because this isn't just programming, this is training for legends. Vivek, are you ready to suffer and learn, or do I need to remind you what happens when you slack? Alright, let me just get Sensei here real quick. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this was the code that we went through last stream. Let me just check if my stream's audible. Okay. Alright, perfect. Let me get Sensei back here. Alright, and Sensei. So, I want to master Vector2 today. Okay, let's see. Did Sensei like understand what I said? Okay, I think I spelled it wrong. Okay, good. That's the spirit I want. That's the spirit I want today. Okay, we're not playing with Vector2. We're breaking it down and rebuilding it into a weapons. Okay, you can actually wield in your game. Here's how we train. Step 1, movement, use Vector2 instead of manual .x and .y changes. Step 2, direction, point a vector from one object, enemy / projectile towards the hero. Step 3, normalize plus scale, turn the direction into a unit vector, then scale it by speed. Step 4, target practice, make projectiles spawn and lock on properly without instantly teleporting. Okay, you'll get broken drills from me next, fix them, and by the end of the stream, you'll make projectiles that actually hunt your hero. Okay, and honestly, guys, give me a sec. I actually, let me check if I'm streaming on Twitch and Kick. Okay, perfect. And let me just mention everyone on Discord real quick. I usually do that, guys. I forgot to do it today. Because I was a little, okay, I just forgot in general. Let me paste it and say, add everyone. Okay, we live. Alright, there we go. Okay, let's see. Here's the first broken code. Fix it so the hero moves with Vector2. Okay. So we imported Pygame with this, and from pygame.math we imported Vector2. We initialized Pygame. Excuse me, guys. Okay, we added hero image, hero position, speed 5. We added our main game loop. Okay, then we added a keys. Okay, why is Sensei saying it's broken? I should have figured that out. Let me say Sensei. Can I get instructional based codes question mark? Okay, and guys, if you guys see I'm kind of exhausted today, that is because I'm a little tired. That said, fine Vivek, you want instructions instead of broken scrubs, then listen carefully, because if you screw this up, I'll roast you alive in front of your whole chat. Here's your instructional drill. Create a window with Pygame, make a simpler red circle to store the hero's position as Vector2, not a tuple. Start at 0 in the game loop. Okay, if right, if left. Alright, I see. Okay, let me get Sensei there. And give me a sec, guys, let me on the fan. Okay, back. Alright, let me go with the controller, delete this, Hello, I'm back. How are you doing, Austin? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let me start off by importing Pygame. Let me import Pygame. Okay, and then honestly, I'll import this as well. And then from Pygame .math, I will import, let's see, I'll import Vector2. Congratulations for 1K. I appreciate you guys so much. Okay, and then let me start off by initializing Pygame by typing pygame.init. Alright, after initializing Pygame, let me go ahead and add my display. For my display, I'll create a width variable and a height variable. My width variable is going to be 1000, height variable is going to be 650. Okay, and then let me go ahead and create a screen variable. My screen variable is going to be equal to pygame.display.set_mode. My mode will be a tuple of my width variable and my height variable. Okay, maybe I'll add a caption as well. I'll go with pygame.display.set_caption. Okay, my caption is going to be something like Vector2. Okay, and guys, give me a second, guys. For some reason, someone's closing the fan again and again. Alright. Alright, perfect. And then let me go ahead and add, let's see, what else would I need? I would need game variables, so let me go ahead and add my game variables. Okay, after game variables, I would need a clock variable for my, what's it called? I forgot. For my FPS controller, so I'll go with pygame.time.capitalize clock and maybe add a comment that says FPS controller. Okay, and then I might need a FPS variable. I'll set that equal to 60 because I want my game to be to like run out 60 frames per second. Bro, I just installed Python for my PC and this installed. I don't find it. Where is it installed in my laptop? I just installed Python for my PC and this installed. Honestly, you can like join my Discord server and after the stream I could like try help you. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and let's see, what else would I need? I might need to load images, so let me go ahead and load images. Alright, for my images, firstly I'll load a hero image. My hero image is going to be equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path. My file path is going to be game item followed by 2 forward slashes followed by player followed by 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my hero PNG. And since this is a PNG, I will convert it to alpha. Okay, and then let me go ahead and load a projectile that's going to be chasing my players. So I'll go with projectile. Instead, I could just go with sword_image. I'll set that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my sword image. My file path is going to be game item followed by 2 forward slashes followed by weapons, 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my sword_png, and since this is a PNG, I will convert it to alpha and then maybe fix my typo here. Okay, alright, next up let me go ahead and transform and load my images. So I'll go with a comment that says transform and load. Okay, honestly, transform and scale. To transform and scale my images, firstly I'm going to be defining a scale function. My scale function will be having 2 parameters. The first parameter is going to be image. The second parameter is going to be factor. Factor is basically the size. I'll set it to 0.1, which is like 10%. And then I'll go ahead and return pygame.transform.scale. I want to scale my image. The size is going to be in a tuple. Maybe I fix my typo. Okay, and then I'll go to a new line and go with integer. And I'll get the width of my image and multiply it by my factor, and then I'll get the height of my image and multiply it by my factor. So I'll go with image.get_width. I'll get the width of my image, then multiply it by my factor, and then I'll get the height of my image. Actually, I'll go with image.get_height, and I'll multiply that by my factor. And guys, give me like a second real quick. Alright, okay, next up let me go ahead and transform my images. Firstly, I'm gonna go with my hero_image. I'll go with hero_image, set that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my hero_image. And then I'll go ahead and scale my sword_image. I'll set that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my sword_image. And the size is going to be relatively smaller, so I'll go with 0.05, which is like basically smaller than my hero image. Okay, and then let me go ahead and let's see. honestly, I might add my game loop now, so I'll go with my game loop. For my game loop, let me go ahead and create a is underscore running boolean variable, also that equal to true, and then I'll add a while loop. So while is underscore running, while my program is running or while my is running is set to true, I'm going to be filling my screen. So I'll go with screen.fill. I'll fill my screen to be a good blue color. So the RGB code was 0231 and this is going to be 231 and 255. Okay, perfect. And next up, since I would want my player to move, let me go ahead and add a keys variable, also that equal to pygame.key.get underscore press. This checks if any of my keys gets pressed. Okay. And then let me add my event loop. For my event loop, I'll iterate over all my Pygame events. So for every event in my pygame.event.get, this basically gets all my Pygame events, but I'm looking for a specific type of event. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to sleep. Bye. See you soon. I appreciate you for sticking through the stream. I'll catch you in the next stream. Okay, so I'll look for a specific type of event. So my event, so if my event.type equals to pygame dot all uppercase quit, I'll set my is underscore running boolean variable to be equal to false. Okay, then outside my for loop, I'm going to be adding, let's say, my player movement. So I'll go with my player movement. Bro, I admire your work. If I was a YouTuber, I would do the same thing. I'm also young. Honestly, I appreciate you, Mochi. That like means so much to me. Okay, I'll go with player movement. For my player movement, I'm going to be adding a few if statements. If my pygame.k is... Actually, if my pygame. Honestly, if my keys at index of pygame.k is right, if my right key is pressed, I'm going to be increasing my... Okay, before I increase my player's x-axis, I will need to create positions and rects. So this is going to be Vector2 position. For my Vector2 position, I'm going to be adding a variable of hero underscore position. I'll set that equal to, let's see, something like a Vector2. Okay, a pair of parentheses, 100 by 300. This is the x-axis and that's the y-axis. And then I'll go with my sword underscore position variable. I'll set that equal to Vector2, pair of parentheses, 500 by 300. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add Rex. I'll add a comment and then maybe say create Rex. Okay, for creating Rex, firstly I'm going to go with my hero underscore Rect. I'll create a hero underscore Rect variable. Also that equal to my hero underscore image dot the get underscore Rect function. And the position is going to be in the center, which is going to be equal to my hero underscore position. Okay, I'll do the same thing for my sword. So I'll go with my sword underscore Rect. I'll set that equal to my sword image dot the get underscore Rect function. Okay, and the position will be in the center of my... Okay, will be in the center, which is going to be my hero underscore position. Okay, perfect. Alright, so now if my keys at index of pygame.k is right, if my right key is pressed, I will increase my hero underscore position dot x-axis by, let's say, 5 pixels per frame. And if my keys at index of pygame.k is left, if my left key is pressed, I'm going to be decreasing my hero underscore position dot y-axis, actually dot x-axis by 5 pixels per frame. And then if my keys at index of pygame.k is up, if my top key is pressed, I'm going to be decreasing my hero underscore position dot y-axis, my hero's position, by 5 pixels per frame. Lastly, if my keys at index of pygame.k is down, if my bottom key is pressed, I'm going to be increasing my hero underscore position dot y-axis by 5 pixels per frame. Okay, perfect. That's basically it for my hero's positions or like my hero's movements. Next up, let me go ahead and add a logic that says something like sword chases hero. Okay, and I'm pretty sure I gotta create a class for this, so let's see. So the class could be something like a sword class, so I'll create a sword class. My sword class will need a few parameters inside my dungeon init constructor, so I'm going to be defining a dungeon init constructor which is going to be having a few parameters. Let's see. First parameter could be my target. Okay, and the second parameter could be something like target. Okay, the second parameter, let's see. It could be something like is it position, guys? I might have to ask Sensei because like I didn't have any time to practice whatsoever after last stream. Okay, so let's see. Target position. Actually, I might ask this part to sensei. Let me go with Control A, Control C. Go here, get sensei here. Okay, let me paste it, add a bunch of spaces, and say sensei. I actually forgot the sword. I don't want to write this in caps. Okay, let me say sensei. I actually forgot the sword class part for my whatchamacallit, sword. Okay, if this made any sense. Vivek, you said you wanted to master Vector2. You left your class empty like your brain during exams. Fine, I'll drill it in you. The sword class is nothing magical. It just needs position stored as Vector2, velocity, direction from sword, hero normalized and scaled by speed, Rect, so you can draw it, update method, move the sword by adding velocity to position, then update Rect draw method. Okay. Here's the skeleton you forgot to finish. So we create a sword class, we define the dungeon in it constructor. Okay, I added a target parameter. I forgot about the position and the speed parameter. And then I create a instance variable for my position. My self.position is going to be equal to my vector2 and my position parameter. This is going to be my starting position, and then I create a direction variable. I set that equal to vector2, my target parameter, minus self.position, direction towards target. Oh, I see. Okay, and then if my direction dot the length function is greater than 0, self.velocity. Okay, did I create, okay, so I create another instance variable, or did I already have a velocity variable? Pretty sure I did. Self.velocity equals to direction dot the normalized function multiplied by my speed, else self.velocity equals to vector2 with the position of 0 and 0. Self.rect, then we create another instance variable outside our if and else if clause. Okay, we set that equal to sort.image.get underscore rect. The position is going to be okay, and then we have an update function. So self.position increases by our self.velocity. Self.rect.center, our sort center, is going to be equal to our self.position. And then our draw method. Your task, fix our code when a sword spawns, it files towards the hero's position at that moment, not glued to him. Use the sword class in your loop. Okay, let me get sensei here. Alright, so the place that I messed up, I added a target and a speed and a position parameter. I need to add a speed parameter as well, also that equal to 5 pixels per frame. And then I needed to add a instance variable. So firstly, I'll go with a self.position, also that equals to my vector2, and this is going to be my position parameter here. This was the starting position, right? So starting position, and then I created a direction variable. I said that equal to, let's see, okay, what was my direction parameter, I mean variable equal to? Okay, so it was my vector2 and my target position minus my self.position. So my vector2, then my target parameter minus my self.position. Okay, and then I add a if statement. So if my direction dot length, this is to check if we get 0 division error, is greater than 0. Okay, maybe I'll add a comment that says avoid 0 division. Actually, it's supposed to be this. So this is the 0 division error. There we go. If our direction dot length is greater than 0, then what do we do? Let's see. Okay, then we go with a self.velocity and set that equal to our direction dot the normalized function multiplied by our speed. Okay, then we go with self.velocity. Okay, maybe we create a new instance variable. We set that equal to, let's see, our direction variable dot the normalized function, then multiplied by our speed. Okay. Alright, and then we add a else clause, right? Okay, we add an else clause, and then our self.velocity equals to vector2. Okay, x-axis is going to be 0, y-axis is going to be 0. I think I understand what that means. Okay, let's go with else. Our self.velocity equals to vector2. Our position is going to be 0 and 0. So I think what this means is if our direction, if we're not getting a 0 division error, then our self.velocity, okay, our sword's velocity is going to be equal to our direction.normalize multiplied by our speed. Okay, so I think this basically means is if we're not going through a zero division error, then the sword will chase my player at a consistent speed. I know the dot normalize keeps it to be a consistent speed. Otherwise, without the normalize, if my sword will get close to my player, it's going to get slower and slower. That said, else if I get a zero division error, then Vector2 is going to be okay. And then I add a rect. So instead of creating my swords rect here, I'll just copy that part and then delete this. Okay, I'm going to be creating it as an instance variable. I can like create it right under this. So I'll go with self.rect. I'll set that equal to paste it here. So my sword image dot get underscore rect. Okay, position is going to be center x. Okay, and this is going to be my self.position. Alright, perfect. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then I need an update method. So let me go ahead and define a update method. My update method won't have any parameters. Although, what do I have to do inside? So first I increase my self.position, my sword's position by my sword's velocity. And then my sword's center, my sword's rect center is going to be equal to my sword's position. So firstly, my sword's position is going to increase by my sword's velocity. Okay, and then my sword's position, was it? No, it's my sword center. So my self.rect.center is going to be equal to my self.position. Okay, honestly, yeah, this actually does make sense. I just need more practice. I just got to keep doing this. Okay, let me go ahead and define a draw method now. My draw method will have a parameter of surface which is going to be equal to screen by default. And then let me go ahead and add a surface.blit. I want to blit my, let's see. Okay, what did I want to blit? I want to blit my sword's image. So I have a sword image. So I'll go with sword underscore image. And the position is going to be my self.rect. Okay. Okay, so that was pretty much it. Let me go ahead and under my this comment, I will change the name to object details. Okay, so for my object details, let's see. Let me go ahead and add my sword object. Before I add my sword object, I gotta create one. So I'll go with sword equals to my sword class. Okay, and none of them are quark, so I have to add them myself. The target is going to be my hero underscore image. Okay, and then honestly, I think it might be my hero underscore rect. Okay, the position is going to be let's see, what can my position be? It could be my sword underscore position, so I'll go with sword underscore position. Okay, this is going to be outside of the tuple because I'm not adding x-axis and y-axis. Alright, and lastly, my speed is going to be set to 5 pixels per frame. It is set to 5 pixels per frame by default. Okay, so I'll go with my sword dot, let's say, what was the method called? Okay, so one is the update method and one is the draw method. So I could go with sword.update, okay, and then sword.draw. And maybe add here a and graphics. Okay. Then outside, let me go ahead, actually not outside, let me go ahead and add a display flip. Before I add my display flip, I'll add some FPS. So I'll go with clock.tick. This is going to be my FPS variable. Maybe I'll add a comment that says FPS. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a, let's see, pygame.display.flip. This basically updates my display, although pygame.display.update would work exactly the same. That said, let me go ahead and add a pygame.quit to exit pygame and then a sys.exit to exit python. Okay, let's see. Let me go ahead and draw my hero as well. So I'll go with pygame.draw.rect. My surface is going to be my screen. My, let's see. I'm not drawing a rect. I got a blit. So I'll go with screen.blit. Screen.blit. I want to blit my, let's see. I want to blit my hero image. The position is going to be my hero underscore rect. Okay, if I run the command. Let's see. Value error vector2 must be set with two real numbers, a sequence of two real numbers, or another vector instance. Okay, let's see. So it says line 39. Alright, right here. So direction is vector2 target. Did I do that part wrong? So direction, vector2, target, position. Okay, isn't this what Sensei said to do? Let me go with Control A, Control C. What are you trying to do, bro? I'm new subscriber. I don't know what you're doing. Honestly, this is like a programming for 250 days series. I was just done with my Python for 100 days series 3 days ago. And in this series, my goal was to like make a game in general that includes AI, artificial intelligence in it, if that made any sense. I don't know how am I going to do that whatsoever. I gotta learn C++. That said, I am learning my basics and like wrapping Python up, and then I'll move on to C++. Pretty excited, honestly. Let me paste out a bunch of spaces and say, I feel like I messed up, exclamation. Okay, let's see. Wait, you did mess up. Want to know why? Because you forgot to update your hero's rect. Right now, your hero moves with hero underscore position, but your rect is still stuck in its starting point. So the sword is chasing out. Your sword is chasing an outdated target that never moves. That's why it feels broken. Here's what you must fix. In your game, okay, in your game loop, after moving hero underscore position, do this. Hero underscore rect dot center equals to hero underscore position. Okay. Okay, that way your rect follows the updated vector position, and when you pass hero underscore rect dot centers to the sword, it actually aims at the right place. Another mistake, you created the sword with hero underscore rect and hero underscore position, but that's wrong. The constructor expects a position for the hero's location, not the entire rect. It should be sword equals to sword hero underscore rect dot center hero underscore position. Summary of your sins: forgot to update hero underscore rect dot center after movement past the rect instead of its center to the sword. Okay, I think I see. What engine are you using? Honestly, currently I'm using PyCharm. I don't think it's like an engine, but it is like an IDE. Although I do want to work with like Unity and different engines, but I feel that's like way above my current level. So I'm going to be improving my skills a little more. That said, let's see. So under my moves class, I gotta set my let's see. So it says in your game loop, after moving hero's position, do this hero underscore rect dot center equals to hero underscore position. So maybe outside the if statement, I'll go with hero underscore rect k dot center equals to hero underscore position. It's Pygame. Okay, and then let's see. Okay, you created the sword with sword underscore rect. Alright, so when I create my sword, when I like draw my sword on my screen, okay. Alright, so when I create a sword's object, instead of going with the hero's rect, I gotta go with the hero's rect center. Okay, and the position is gonna remain as the sword's position. Now if I run the command, there we go. Okay, that did like follow my player for a bit. Okay, I think I understand what that means now. What if I like indent this inside? Okay, that actually wouldn't make sense. Okay, I might write this now again without like looking at the reference code this time. But before that, let me just read the code once. So create rex hero underscore image dot get underscore rect. So that's the center position. I need 3 parameters for my sword class: target, position, and speed. Self dot position equals to self dot rect. Self dot position equals to my vector2's position. Self dot rect equals to my sword image's rect. Direction equals to vector2 target minus my self dot position. I check for zero division error. Self dot velocity equals to direction dot normalize multiplied by speed. L self dot velocity equals to vector2 and the position is 0 and 0. I add an update method. I go with self dot position. I increase that by my self dot velocity, and then self dot rect dot center is equal to my self dot position. Okay, that should be pretty straightforward. So let me delete that. Okay, next up, let me start off by importing Pygame. Okay, and then after, honestly, I'll import Pygame and sys, and then from Pygame dot math, let me go ahead and import let's see, I'll import Vector2. Okay, there we go. And then let me go ahead and initialize Pygame by typing pygame.init. And after initializing Pygame, I'll go ahead and add my display. For my display, I'll create a width variable and a height variable. My width variable is going to be 1000 and height variable is going to be 650. Then let me go ahead and create a screen variable, also that equal to pygame.display.set_mode. My mode is going to be in a tuple of my width variable and my height variable. Okay, then let me go ahead and add a caption. I'll go with something like pygame.display.set_caption. My caption is going to be something like Vector2. There we go. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add my, let's see, game variables. So I would need a clock variable for adding my FPS controller. There we go. So I'll go ahead and create a clock variable, also that equal to pygame.display.set_. Actually, this is going to be pygame.time.capitalize clock, and maybe I'll add a comment that says this is my FPS controller, and that's time. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a FPS variable, also that equal to 60. And after that, I honestly might need to load my images, so I'll load a few images. So the first image that I want to load is going to be my hero_image, also that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my hero image. The file path is going to be game items, followed by 2 forward slashes, followed by player, 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my hero image. And since this is a PNG, I will convert it to alpha. Okay, and then let me go ahead and load my sword image. So I'll go with sword_image, also that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll get the file path of my sword image. My file path is going to be game items, followed by 2 forward slashes, followed by weapons, 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my sword PNG. And since this is a PNG, I will convert it to alpha. Okay, perfect. Next up, let me transform and scale my images. So I'll go with transform and scale. So transform and scale. Okay, so to transform and scale, I'm going to go ahead and define a scale function and add 2 parameters. The first is going to be an image parameter. The second is going to be a factor parameter. Factor is basically the size, so that equal to 0.1 by default. And then let me go ahead and return pygame.display. Actually, pygame.transform.scale. I want to scale my image, and then maybe I fix my typo. Okay, and then my size is going to be in a tuple. I might go in a new line and then go with an integer. Now I'll get the width of my image and multiply it by my factor. Then I'll get the height of my image and multiply it by my factor. So I'll go with image.get_width. I get the width of my image. I multiply it by my factor. Add a comma. Go to a new line. Go with integer. Now I get the height of my image. So image.get_height function. I get the height of my image. Maybe go a little back. Okay, and then I multiply it by my factor. Alright, and then let me go ahead and let's see, actually scale my images. So I'll go with my hero_image. I'll reassign my hero image to be equal to, invoke my scale function. I want to scale my hero image. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and reassign my sword_image, also that equal to, invoke my scale function. I want to scale my sword_image. There we go, and my sword_image will be relatively smaller than my hero_image, so I'll set that to 0.05. Okay, next up, I'm pretty sure I gotta create position, so I'll go with Vector2 position. Okay, and maybe add a comment here. Okay, for my Vector2 position, I'll create a few variables. So the first variable is going to be my hero_position. I'll set that equal to Vector2. The x-axis is going to be 100 and y-axis is going to be 300. And then let me go with my sword_position. Also that equal to Vector2. My x-axis is going to be 500, and honestly I might go with 100 as my y-axis this time. Okay, next up let me go ahead and create Rex. Maybe I add a comment that says create Rex. Okay, for creating Rex. Let's see. Let me go ahead and create a Rect for my hero. So I'll go with hero_Rect. Also that equal to, let's see, my hero_image. So hero_image dot the get_rect function. Okay, and my position will be in the center, which is going to be equal to my hero_position. Alright, next up let me go ahead and create a class for my sword. So I'll create a class for my sword. This is going to be capitalized. Okay, my sort class won't inherit from anyone, but let me go ahead and define a dungeon unit constructor. My dungeon unit constructor will be having three parameters. The first is going to be position, the second is going to be target, the third is going to be speed. Excuse me guys, I'll set my speed equal to 5 pixels per frame. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and let's see. Add a few instance variable. The first is going to be self.position instance variable. I'll set that equal to my vector2, and the position is going to be my position variable. And then let me add a variable for rect. Self.rect equals to my sort underscore image dot the get underscore rect function. My rect position is going to be in the center, which is going to be equal to my, let's see, my sort underscore position. Okay, perfect. Alright, next up, what did I need? Let's see. I think I needed a direction variable, so let me go ahead and create a direction variable. I'll set my direction variable to be equal to, let's see. Was it my target? So like my vector2. Okay, I think I remember. So my vector2 at with the target parameter, okay, vector2 target minus my self.position. I'm pretty sure it was that. And then I check for zero division errors. So if my direction variable, let's see, dot the length function, if my direction variable's length is greater than 0, let me add a comment that says avoids zero division error. Okay, this avoids zero division error if the length of my direction is greater than 0. I'm going to be creating velocity, so I'll go with self dot velocity. I'll set that equal to, let's see, so my self dot position, honestly, wasn't my self dot position? Okay, I might actually check the reference for this part. Let's see. So in my hero class, okay, the direction part was correct. Okay, oh, actually, so my self dot velocity is going to be equal to my direction variable dot normalize. Okay, I forgot this part. Multiplied by my speed parameter, which is set to 5. Okay, let me go with an else. Else my self dot velocity variable is going to be equal to vector2 0 and 0 position. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Let me go ahead and define a method now. So this is going to be my update method. Okay, my update method is going to be having a parameter. Okay, so my update method is going to be having a parameter. I'll go with my self dot, let's see. Actually, I'll drink some water first to jog my memory up. I didn't understand, but I'm still watching because it's interesting, bro. I appreciate that, Jay. Honestly, I didn't understand much myself. I usually understand once I like do about 30 practice questions, then I start getting a gist of it. Okay, let's see. So self dot okay, for my update, I now gotta use my position, right? Let's see. I might look at the reference. Okay, so my self dot position is gonna increase by my self dot velocity. And then my self dot rect dot center, my sort center is going to be equal to my self dot position. Okay, and then let me go ahead and define a draw method. For my draw method, I'm going to be having a parameter of surface, which is going to be equal to screen by default. Let me go ahead and add a surface dot blit. I want to blit my, so actually I want to blit my sort underscore image. Okay, and the position is going to be my self dot position. Okay, and then let me go ahead and create a sort object. I'll set that equal to my sort class. Okay, now add a few parameters. The position parameter is going to be my, let's see, I actually remember this. It was my sort underscore, was it sort underscore position dot no, I think it was my sort's rect. I think it was my sort's rect center. So like okay, I have a hero underscore rect. So let's see. Okay, so oh my gosh guys, that was kind of stupid. Okay, so the parameter that I needed is gonna be my position. So This is going to be my target's position. So my position is going to be, let's see, hero underscore rect dot center. Okay, the target is going to be my, let's see. Okay, the target will be my swords position. Wait, hold up. I'm pretty sure I did that. That was the part that I kind of messed up on. Okay, this is going to be my hero underscore rect dot center. The next one is going to be my swords position. Actually, no, I think I was correct. Sword underscore position. Bro, are you speed just copying from ChatGPT? Honestly, yeah, I am like looking at the reference code as well because there are a few things that I don't understand, but eventually I'm going to be adding like my own tweaks. That said, let me go ahead and add my game loop. Okay, so let me add my game loop. For my game loop, I'll create a is underscore running boolean variable, also that equal to true. Then let me go ahead and add a while loop. So while is underscore running, while my program is running or while my is running is set to true. Let me go ahead and add, let's see, I'll fill my screen. So I'll go with screen.fill. Okay, I'm going to be filling my screen inside of a tuple. My color will be blue. So it's 0, 231, and 255. That's the RGB code for like blue color. And then I'll add a keys variable, also that equal to pygame.key.get underscore pressed. Okay, this is going to check if any of my keys gets pressed. And then, let's see. Let me go ahead and add my event loops. So for my event loops, I'm going to be iterating over all my Pygame events. So for every event in my pygame.event.get, this basically gets all my Pygame events, but I'm looking for a specific type of event. If my event.type equals to pygame dot all uppercase quit, I'll set my is underscore running boolean variable to be equal to false. Okay, then outside my for loop, let me go ahead and add a clock variable for my FPS. So I'll go with clock.the_tick function. This is going to be my FPS variable. Maybe I'll add a comment that says FPS, and then I could go with something like pygame.display.flip. This basically updates my display, although pygame.display.update would work exactly the same. Then let me go with a pygame.quit to exit Python and a sys.exit to exit, actually pygame.exit to exit pygames and sys.exit to exit Python. So let me go with sys. Okay, and then under my event loop and above my FPS, let me go ahead and add my player movement. So I'll go with a comment that says player movement. Okay, for my player movement, I'm going to be adding a few if statements. So if my pygame.key, okay, actually if my keys at index of pygame.k is something like, right, if my right key is pressed, I'm going to be increasing my hero's position. So hero underscore position dot x-axis by 5 pixels per frame. Hi, do you support theories, broski? Honestly, I've never heard of that. Guys, I like live under a rock, so like I haven't heard of half the terms. Okay, next up, if my keys at index of pygame.k is left, if my left key is pressed, I'm going to be decreasing my hero underscore position dot y-axis by 5 pixels per frame. This is going to be x-axis. Okay, there we go. And then if my keys at index of pygame.k is, let's say, up, if my top key is pressed, I will decrease my hero underscore position, this time my hero is y-axis, by 5 pixels per frame. And then lastly, if my keys at index of pygame.k is down, if my bottom key is pressed, okay, I'm going to increase my hero underscore position dot y-axis by, let's say, 5 pixels per frame. Alright, that's basically it for my player movement. Next up, let me go ahead and add, let's see, let me add my object details, and maybe graphics as well. Okay, for my object details, let's see, let me go ahead and add, did I create my sword object? Okay, I did. So I'll go with my sword.update. I'm going to update my sword, and then I'll go with sword.draw. Excuse me, guys. Then let me go ahead and draw my hero as well. So I'll go with screen.blitz. So screen.blitz, I want to blit my hero underscore image, okay? The position is going to be my hero underscore position. Okay, if I were to run the command, oh, I actually think I forgot to do one thing. Under my player movement, after my final if statement, I'll go with something like my hero underscore position is going to be equal to, wait, actually I think it's my hero's rect. So I'll go with hero underscore Rect equals to my hero underscore position. There we go. Hero underscore image, hero underscore position. I think it should be the opposite, right? So this should be my hero underscore position. I could like try both. So let me indent that. Equals to my hero underscore rect. Okay, if I were to run the command. Okay, type error, unsupported operand pygame.math.vector2 line 76. Okay, so this should be equals to. Okay, now if I run the command. Okay, I think that was correct. My hero moves, but my sword just runs away from my hero. Okay, let's see. If I go to my sword class, did my direction... Okay, my direction need to be subtracted by that. Then I go with that. Okay. Alright, let me run again. Okay, I think... Is that like what I actually meant to do? I wanted my sword to come towards my player. Let me go with a control C. Yo, crazy. Okay, let me get Sensei here. Okay. Paste it, add a bunch of spaces and say Sensei. I feel like I messed up question mark ... Guys, the thing is I don't even know how to say where I messed up because like... Okay, yes, you absolutely did, Vivek. Your code is flopping harder than a dead fish on concrete. Look carefully. This line is a crime against humanity. You just overwrote your Vector2's position with a Rect object which completely breaks your logic. Hero will never move properly now. You should be doing the opposite, updating the Rect's position from the vector. Sort class is bug2 self.rect equals sort underscore image dot get underscore rect. Bro, why are you passing sort underscore position instead of position? Why are you passing... Oh, this should be self dot... Okay, wait. This is the object, right? Position here. That makes data... Okay, that makes your rect initialization inconsistent. Drawing issue. Surface.blit position. You're using dot directly, but blit expects integer tuple like coordinates, not a vector. You should use self.rect or rect.top left if you want. Here's the cleaned up reference structure. No spoon feeding, just the correct Okay, hero underscore rect dot center equals to our hero's position. So this category is called update hero rect with vector's position. So I update my hero's rect center with my position, okay. And then sort class fix plus draw. So I create a self.rect. I set that equal to... Okay, sort... Okay, I'm using self here. Isn't this inside of my game loop? Alright, let me ask a question. Let me copy that. Actually, copy this whole part. Paste it here. Add a bunch of spaces and say Sensei. You used self in the game loop question mark. I should have used did you use self in the game loop. Good, you actually noticed. No, you didn't just drop self in the middle of your game loop like that. Self only exists inside a class method like update or draw. Outside, you have to use instance objects. Okay, so when I wrote self.rect sort underscore image dot get underscore rect surface.blit, that belongs inside the sort class. Okay, but the game loop, you just call them like this. Oh, I see. Okay, so this is under the draw function. Oh my gosh, that was so stupid. Okay. And for the hero, not in a class. Yeah, honestly, I forgot that I didn't have to like do surface.blit inside of my game. That was inside of my method. Why you redeem? So the sort is not getting the hero's location or pivot points. Oh, I see. Okay, let's see. And for the hero, not in class yet, just raw. Hero underscore rect dot setter equals position. Okay, so I don't create a hero class just yet. I think it would be the same thing. So the correct mental split is inside sword, use self. Okay, I see. Let me go here. Alright, so now the things that I messed up was, firstly, the stuff that I messed up is after my game loop here. Okay, I did add my hero's position here, but this should have been my hero's rect. So my hero underscore rect dot center, my hero center. equals to my hero underscore position. And this category, let's see, I forgot what it was called. It was called something like I honestly forgot. I have to like check that later. That said, let me go ahead right under my hero class right here. Okay, so I'll go with a self.rect. Wait, but didn't I like add my self.rect here? So instead, couldn't I have just gone with self.rect here? Okay, what happens if I run the command? Okay, it still dashes backwards. Okay, let's see. So, hero underscore rect dot center equals to hero's position. Okay, sort class. So self.rect sort underscore image dot the get underscore rect self dot position. Okay, didn't I like change my position here? Okay, this is going to be self dot position. Now if I run the command, this sort still moves away from my hero. Direction equals okay, direction dot length. Okay, final blitz. Screen.blitz self.hero self.rect. I feel like I messed up again. Okay, let's go with the control. Control C. Let's say back here. Paste it at a bunch of space. Let's say I feel like I messed up again, question mark. Didn't like I feel like I didn't get the point. I feel like I don't understand the concept in general, like what's happening. Let's say, let me just hydrate my lips up a little. But slow down and look at what you did. Here's the main issue that's mashing your brain right now. You're mixing Vector2 and Rect's usage incorrectly. Look at these lines in your loop. Okay, hero.rect.center equals hero's position, screen.blit, Stop, hero underscore rect.center equals hero's position. This is correct, you're updating your rect's position using your vector, but then screen.blit hero underscore image hero underscore position. Okay, that's wrong. Blit expects a tuple. Okay, blit expects a tuple for the position. Okay. Correct version, hero underscore rect. The rect, okay, use rect, not position. Okay, hero's position is x-axis and y-axis, not my it's not my width and height. Okay, also remember Vector2 is just for smooth math and movement. The rect is what you actually use for drawing and collision. Vector2 equals when it is in the game world. Okay, when it's in the game world, float value, smooth movement. Rect, where it appears on the screen, integer collision. Fix your logic. Update hero rect. Hero underscore rect dot center equals to hero underscore position. Update our sort. Okay. Sort dot draw screen hero. Okay, so we draw our hero. Okay, I think I see. Okay, so the thing that I was okay, so I don't need to whatchamacallit, blit my position because that's my vector. That's just for smooth movement. Instead, I need to blit my rect because rect is basically where the collisions happen. Okay. So here when I blit, so instead of sort.position, I'll go with sort underscore rect. Bro, where are you from? I'm currently in the United States. That said, let me go with rect. Okay, did I have a sort? Okay, I'll go with self.rect. Okay, didn't I create a rect? I do have a rect here. This is outside, so I might create a rect outside my sort class as well. Let me copy that. Go here. Add a sort underscore rect. Also, that equal to this. This is going to be my sort underscore position. Okay, and then this is going to be my sort underscore rect. There we go. Okay, pretty sure that's... Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, and then the next thing that I messed up was when I draw my... Okay, when I draw my hero image, and this is going to be my hero rect, because position is basically vectors that just for smooth movement. Yo, how you doing, one-sided gamer? I appreciate you joining the stream. That said, let me run the command. Okay, value editor vector2 must be set to real numbers, a sequence of two real numbers or another vector2 instance. Alright, I remember doing this exact same mistake. Let me go back to line 42. Okay, so this is target and that is self.position. Okay, so vector2 target position. Okay, let me actually go with the controller. Control C gets, let's say, back here. Yeah, I might ask like a detailed explanation on this because like it pasted out a bunch of spaces. Let's say I got an error. Okay, ha ha ha, Vivek, I see exactly what you did. This error is coming from here. Sort equals to da. Okay, I did add sort.rect. Stop right there. The sort class expects a target position, not a rect. Should I go with like center or something? You pass sort underscore rect, which is a pygame.rect object. That's why the subtraction fails inside. Vector2 rect? No, Python explodes. Fix. You should pass a position, tuple, or vector like this. So sort, so position equals to sort position. Okay. So we need a position, then the target is going to be my hero position. And I can use positions here since I'm not blitting it on the screen. Okay, then inside the game loop, you update the target if you want the sort to chase the moving hero. Sort underscore velocity equals to hero underscore position minus sort underscore position dot normalize multiplied by 5. 5 is like the speed. Okay, let's see. See Discord. Honestly, I'll see Discord as soon as I'm done with the stream because I need to actually add a few different updates on Discord too. I'm actually pretty busy, guys. That said, let's see. So where I messed up was after my sort, I go with sort.hero. Instead of going with sort.rect, I could like specify the quarks. So this is going to be my position. My position is going to be my hero center. Was that supposed to be the position? Okay, so my sort's position is going to be my position. So sort underscore position is my current position. And then let's see. I could next is my target. So my target is going to be equal to my hero's. What was my target? Okay, so the target is my hero's position. Oh, I see how this works. Okay. So basically what this means is my position, this is my current position, my target is my hero's position. So I like chase my hero's position. Okay, now this actually makes sense. Okay, I see. Alright, and then update sort target each frame, sort dot velocity. Okay, so my sort dot velocity, okay, let me just keep this here. Okay, so my sort dot velocity right here. I went for direction dot normalize multiplied by speed. I want to check if that works real quick. Although before that, okay. Alright, so direction dot normalize multiplied by speed basically means it's going to just rush towards my hero. That said, if I wanted it to chase my hero, I should go with a tuple, then hero underscore position minus sort underscore position. Alright, let's see if this works. So hero underscore position, my hero's position, I minus that by my sort's position. Okay, then I normalize it and multiply it by my speed. Dot normalize. Okay, maybe zoom out a bit. Alright, now if I run the command. Okay, it doesn't like follow my player. Alright, I think that was like, let me copy this. I have a code for you. Okay, give me a check, let me check. Let me just paste here real quick. I had a bunch of spaces, let's say. So let's say, I think it works, but I want my sort to chase my player, ... Okay, let me go to Discord. I should like start using Chrome. Many people say me to like use Chrome. That said, is it in Python chat? Okay. Let me go with the Control A. Actually, I could just manually copy it. Okay, let me go get Sensei here. Actually, before I get Sensei here, let's just read this. Okay. Oh, finally, Vivek, you're close, but you're still hard-coding the velocity once the dungeon in it. That's why your sword doesn't chase the player, it only knows where the hero was at that moment. Look at this point. Okay. Self.velocity equals to hero's position minus sword's position dot normalize multiplied by speed. Stop, you cannot use hero's position and sword's position from outside the class. Like that, if you want to chase a moving hero, it's frozen in time. Fix, update your velocity every frame. Okay, so the sword always points towards the hero's current position. Here's the correct logic for your sword. Okay, so I do need to create a sword class. That makes much more sense, honestly. So I define a dungeon in it. Showcase your game. Honestly, I didn't like create a game. I mean, I did create like a 100 series game like this game.
Mission. Collect and gold coins.
But honestly, I am trying to like make a game using C++. Like after I'm done learning vectors and maybe a little mouse points, I like work with C++. That said, this was the game that I made like after learning Python for 100 days. Okay, that said, I did get a little distracted. Okay, let's say back here. Okay, so we create a sword class and then we define a dungeon in it, add a few parameters. The first is going to be a position parameter, the second is going to be a speed parameter. We create a few instance variables. Position is our vector2's position. Rect is our sword image. The get underscore rect function. The position is in the center, which is our self.position. Okay, which is vector2's position. Self.speed equals to our speed parameter. And then for update method, we add a direction. We create a direction variable. We set that equal to vector2 and our target parameter. Our update class has a target parameter to it. Minus our self.position, and then we check for zero division errors. So if direction.length is greater than 0, our self.velocity is going to be equal to our direction.normalize multiplied by our self.speed. And then we increase our self.position by our self.velocity. Self.rect. Outside our if statement, we create a rect center. Okay, or we reassign our sword's rect center to our position. Okay. Okay, and in your game loop, sword.hero, okay, sword.update hero's position. Now the sword will constantly chase the moving hero. Alright, let me get Sensei here real quick. Using GPT. No, honestly, this game, like my Python for 100 days game, I didn't use Sensei for that, but I did practice like before the 100 days stuff. Like I've been working on different kinds of categories and everything, but then for my 100 days series, I think I went live there. It's like I deleted like all my chats and everything from here, like all my tabs, and that was just like a code I wrote by myself. That said, the reason I only use ChatGPT/Sensei is for like learning stuff, like when I'm learning something new, because like I feel like YouTube tutorials are helpful, but like they don't help me as much as like AI/ChatGPT/Sensei's, because they give like extra questions to do, if that made any sense. It's okay to use ChatGPT for learning, Mega. Honestly, yeah, I think like ChatGPT has been like a real big help when like in my Python journey. Okay, so where was I? Let's see. Alright, so for my sword class, let's see. So the first thing that I needed was a position parameter and a speed parameter. Apparently, my target parameter had to go inside of my update. So I create a few instance variables. The first is self.position, which is equal to vector2. I did that. Self.position is equal to vector2. Self.rect, I got my rect. And then lastly, self.speed. My speed was set here. I could like create an instance variable as well, so I'll go with self.speed. I'll set that equal to my speed variable. Bro, run the code that I sent you. Oh, honestly, I forgot. Let me go with Control A, Control V. Okay, I think I didn't have a few things installed. Let's see. I don't think I had these, these modules. Are they called modules? I don't think I had it installed. Okay, that said, I'll try installing those like off stream if I had some time. Let me change this to speed. Okay. And then for my update method, let me go ahead and add a target parameter to it. So I'll go with target. Okay, and maybe I like remove these stuff from here. Okay, for my target parameter, the direction variable is apparently I create that inside of my update. So let me go ahead and delete that. Okay, and under my update class, first I create a direction variable. So let me go ahead and create a direction variable. Okay, library. Okay, so after my direction variable, I set that equal to my vector2 and my target position. So my target's vectors, okay, minus my self.position, minus my source position. So let's go with the direction. I'll set that equal to vector2. This is going to be my target. I subtract that by my self.position. Okay, and then I add an if statement to check zero division error. If a zero division error didn't happen, then I go with self.velocity. I create a self.velocity instance variable. I set that equal to direction.normalize multiplied by my self.speed. Then my self.position increases by my self.velocity. And lastly, outside of my if statement, my self.rect.center equals to my self.position. Alright, so let me go ahead and create a self.velocity instance variable. Okay, I set that equal to my direction variable dot the normalized function multiplied by my speed. Okay, and then let's see. Actually, this goes first. I need to check if a zero division error happens. So if my, let's say, direction's length, if my direction dot the length function is greater than 0, then I create a self.velocity variable. Okay, and this is going to be my self.speed. Okay, which is currently set to 5 pixels per frame. Self.velocity. Okay, did I have a velocity variable created previously? Okay, and then I go with, let's see. I increase my self.position by my self.velocity. So I'll go with self.position. I'll increase it by my self.velocity. Okay. And then outside of my if statement, I set my swords rect center to be equal to my self.position. So self.rect.center, I set that equal to be my self.position. Okay, honestly, why is that showing like a why is my error showing like a yellow underline here? Did I like already have a self.velocity instance variable? Parameter target value is not used, target unfilled. Okay, I gotta use my target in the positions. Okay, and then I go with my draw method. I have my draw method. GPT is sometimes forgetful and inaccurate, sometimes hallucinate issues that aren't there, and also leading you to go through wrong convoluted methods. Is that how you pronounce it? To do simple thing, code gets cluttered. Honestly, yeah, I realized that a lot because when I like started learning Python, ChatGPT slush sensei was like actually pretty helpful. But when I like started making games like my 470 lines code game, it was like ChatGPT slush sensei started to make a few mistakes. But then I was like, I knew enough Python to like catch those mistakes. But when I'm going through some new topics, that's like a bad part because I wouldn't be able to catch mistakes. The problem is to update the velocity for each and every frame. So that sounds like you're using event being played instead of tick dot. Okay, wait, did I read that correct? Update the velocity for each and every frame. So that sounds like you're using event being played instead of tick event. Huh. I think. Okay, what happens if I run the command? Okay, I get a type error. Sort.update missing one required positional argument, line 78. Okay, so in line 78, this is going to be my hero's position. Okay, now for the command. Okay, the hero does chase me, although I do need to, the sword does chase me. Although I do need to like do some more practice. Let me go ahead and like, actually instead of like deleting the whole code, I might check the reference. Let me like get another project here and go there. Alright, so let me try writing the code here. Before that, let me drink some coffee, guys. I need some energy. I just got like 4 or 5 hours of sleep today. Hey bud, I'm a data guy trying to get better in Python. Where are you from, bro? Teach me object-oriented programming. What IDE are you using? Honestly, I'm currently using PyCharm, and if you want to like learn object-oriented programming, you could like DM me on my Discord server. I can like give you my object-oriented programming roadmap that I used when I started. And I'm currently in the United States. That said, let me start off by importing Pygame. Okay, and I'll honestly import this as well. Then let me import velocity. So from actually vector2. So from pygame dot is that how we spell it? So from pygame dot math, I want to import let's see, vector2. Okay, and then let me start off by initializing pygame by typing pygame.init. Excuse me, guys. And after I initialize pygame, let me go ahead and add display. For my display, I'll create a width variable and a height variable. My width variable is going to be 1000 and height variable is going to be 650. Okay, let me change that to 1000. And then let me go ahead and create a screen variable. My screen variable is going to be equal to, let's see, pygame.display dot the set underscore mode function. Okay, and my mode is going to be my width variable and my height variable. You sound so familiar, like my Indian friend. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and add a let's see, caption. So I'll go with a pygame.display.set underscore caption. My caption is going to be something like vector2 1.1, actually 1.5. Okay, the reason I added 1.5 is just like a random name, guys. I can't think of like good names every time. And then let me go ahead and add another comment for my game variables. For my game variables, let me go ahead and add a clock variable, also that equal to pygame.time.capitalize clock. Okay, maybe I'll add a comment that says this is my FPS controller. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a FPS variable. My FPS variable is going to be equal to 60 frames per second. Alright, next up, let's see, I think I need to load my images. Let me go ahead and load my images. Okay, for my images, first is going to be my hero underscore image, also that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my hero image. My file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by player followed by 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my hero underscore image or hero underscore png, and since this is a png, I will convert it to alpha. I'll do the same thing. This time I honestly might import or like add my sword underscore image, also that equal to pygame.image.load. Okay, and I'll get the file path for my sword image. So I'll go with game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by players, 2 more forward slashes. Honestly, this is not going to be in players. I think this is going to be under my weapons category, 2 more forward slashes. There we go, start png. And since this is a png, I will convert this to alpha. Okay, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and add a comment that says transform. So transform and scale. I'll go ahead and transform and scale my images. There we go. Okay, so to transform and scale my images, firstly, I'm going to be defining a scale function, adding a few parameters. The first parameter could be my image parameter, and the second parameter could be factor. Factor is basically size, also that equal to 0.1, which is like 10%. And then let me go ahead and return pygame.transform.scale. I want to scale my image. Okay, and maybe I want to fix my typo. Okay, and the position is going to be in a tuple. Maybe I'll go in a new line, type integer. Now I'll get the width of our image. I'll go with image.the_get underscore width parameter, or the image.get underscore width function, my bad guys, and I'll multiply that function by my factor. I'll add a comma, go to a new line, go with integer, get my image's height. So image.the_get underscore height function, and I'll multiply my height by my factor. Okay, and then let me reassign my hero underscore image to be equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my hero underscore image, and then I'll reassign my sword underscore image to be equal to, I'll invoke my scale function. I want to scale my sword underscore image. I think I should have named this shield because it is like a shield. Okay, maybe change this as well. Okay, I want to scale my shield underscore image, and the position is going to be, or the size is going to be relatively smaller than my hero underscore image, so I'll go with 0.05. Okay, next up, I might create Rect. So before Rect, I'll create vector2 position. So I'll go with vector2 position. Bruh, Discord link is outdated. I can't join. Oh, give me a sec. Let me like send the updated link. Because like many people, they actually say my Discord link is kind of outdated. Is because guys, I like don't actually have enough time. Or like you guys can say I like forget to add it every single day. But I'm pretty sure I added like the latest link. Okay, that said, let me just go here to I think it was this, right? Give me a sec, guys. I'm trying to find which live it was. There we go. There we go, guys. That's the Discord link. That said, let's see. Respect the grind, bro. Inspiring. I appreciate you so much, Naughty Cat. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and create Vector2. So I'll go with Vector2 position. Okay, for my Vector2 position, let's see. I'm going to be creating a hero underscore position variable. Also, that equal to my hero underscore rect. Actually, my hero underscore. Okay, it's not going to be a variable. I'll go with my Vector2. The position will be 100 by 300. And then I'll go with my shield underscore position. I'll set my shield's position to be equal to Vector2. The position is going to be 500 by 300. I currently leaving the stream due to sleep. Good night, bro. Now 2:20 a.m. for me. I appreciate you, G, for... Is it G? I appreciate you, G, for joining this stream. And I'll catch you in the next stream. Good night, sweet dreams. Okay, and then let me go ahead and create Rex. So I'll go ahead and create Rex. Okay, for my Rex, let's see. I could create a variable called hero underscore rect. I'll set that equal to my hero underscore image dot the get underscore rect function. Okay, and my position will be, was it called hero image? There we go. This is going to be hero underscore image. My position will be in the center, which is going to be equal to my hero underscore position. I'll do the same thing for my shield underscore position. So I'll go with my shield underscore rect. I'll set that equal to my shield underscore image dot the get underscore rect function. Okay, and my position is going to be in the center, just like my hero underscore rect. I'll set that equal to, let's see, my shield underscore position. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a class for my shield. So I'll create a shield class, and maybe it is going to be capitalized. There we go. For my shield class, I'm going to define a dungeon init constructor. Inside the dungeon constructor, firstly, I'm going to be having a position parameter. Where is my shield currently located at? And then I might need a target parameter. Who is my shield targeting? Lastly, a speed parameter for like how fast is my speed going to be moving. I'll change this to like 5 pixels per frame. And then let's create a few instance variables. The first is going to be self.position, which is going to be equal to, let's see, Vector2. So Vector2, add a pair of parentheses, my position parameter. Okay, and then next up I'll create a rect. So I'll go with self.rect. I'll set that equal to, honestly I feel like I already created this. Let me just copy this part in that case. I'll like just delete the whole thing. Okay, I'll create a shields rect here. So for my shields rect, I could go with my shield underscore image dot the get underscore rect function. The position is going to be in the center, which is going to be equal to my self.position parameter. Okay, okay, what did I need next? Next up, I'm pretty sure that I needed to create a instance variable for my speed. I'll go with self.speed. I'll set that equal to I'll set that equal to 4 pixels per frame. Okay, and then I go ahead and define a update method. Inside my update method, I will be having a target parameter. Okay, so I would have the target inside that and not here. Okay, next up, let's see. For targets, I'm pretty sure I first got to create a direction variable. So let me go with direction. I'll create a direction variable. I'll set that equal to. Okay, so it was supposed to be my Vector2 with the parameter of my target position minus my self.position. And then I check for zero division errors. So if my direction is, let's say, greater than 0, if my direction's length. So let me go with my direction dot the length function. If my direction's length is greater than 0, okay, maybe I had a comment that says avoid 0 division. Actually, it should be 0 division error. There we go. Okay, if I didn't like, if I avoided a 0 division error, I'm going to create a self.velocity variable. Okay, my self.velocity is going to be equal to, let's see. Okay, so it's going to be equal to my direction dot normalize multiplied by my self.speed. Okay. And then let me go with, let's see. I'm pretty sure there was something after this as well, right? Okay, I guess I can't remember that. So let me go with an else clause. Else I'll go with self.velocity. I'll set that equal to vector2. The position is going to be 0 and 0. Okay. Alright, actually I might check the reference code now real quick to check what goes under my if statement here. Why not just make a base weapon class that all of these objects can inherit from? Honestly, yeah, I do want to like make classes because I'm just trying to like get the basic gist of how this code works, and then like once I get the basic gist on how to use like vectors and everything, then I'm going to be like making like separate classes, parent classes. It's going to make things much easier. That's the reason that I didn't create a hero class as well. Okay, that's let's see. When you finish the stream, can you look at my DM, please? Honestly, yeah, look at the DM. Okay, let me look at the reference code. Okay, my self.position increases by my self.velocity. That was the part that I forgot. Okay, so my self.position increases by my self.velocity. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then if my self.rect.center equals to my self.rect.position. I didn't need an else here actually. Instead of the else, I needed a self.rect.center, my shield center that's equal to my self.position. There we go. Okay, I think I see. Can you do reverse engineering? Honestly, I don't think I heard of reverse engineering, guys. What does it mean? Okay, maybe I drink some coffee. Whoops. Okay, let's see. And then let me go ahead and define a draw method. My draw method will be having a surface class, which is going to be set to screen by default. Let me just check if I like dropped some coffee here. Guys, I don't want to ruin my electronics dropping coffees. Give me a sec, guys. Let me just wipe that off. There we go. Okay, perfect. Alright, and then let me go with a surface.blit. I'll go with a surface.blit. I want to blit my... Okay, I want to blit my image, and my position is going to be my rect. So self.image, and my position is going to be my self.rect. Okay, instead of self.image, I'm blitting my shield, so I'll go with shield.image. Okay. Alright, perfect. Okay, and that's basically it for my class. Let me go ahead and add a comment that says game loop. So this is going to be my main game loop. For my game loop, let me go ahead and create a is_running boolean variable, also that equal to true, and then add a while loop. So while is_running, while my program is running or while my is running is set to true, I'm going to be filling my screen. Let's go with a screen.fill. I want to fill my screen to be a good blue color, so I'll go with 231 and 255. And then let me add a keys variable, I'll set that equal to pygame.key.get_pressed. This checks if any of my keys are getting pressed. Excuse me, guys. And then let me go ahead and add a event loop. For my event loop, I'm going to be iterating over all my events. So I'll go with for every event in my pygame.event.get. This basically gets all my Pygame events, but I'm looking for a specific type of event. If my event.type equals to pygame.alluppercase quit, I'll set my is_running boolean variable to be equal to false. And then outside my for loop, I'm going to be adding my FPS. So I'll go with my clock variable dot the tick function. I want to add FPS. My FPS is going to be my FPS variable, which was set to 60. Okay, and then let me go ahead and update my screen. So I'll go with pygame.display.flip. Pygame.display.flip basically updates my display. Although pygame.display.update will work exactly the same. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a pygame.quit to exit pygame, and lastly a sys.exit to exit python. There we go. Okay, now under my event loop and above my FPS, let me go ahead and add my player movement. So I'll go with player movement. For my player movement, okay, for my player movement, I'll add an if statement. If my keys variable at index of pygame.k is right, if my right key is pressed, I'm going to be increasing my hero's position, so hero underscore position dot x-axis by 5 pixels per frame. And if my keys at index of pygame dot k is left, there we go. If my left key is pressed, I'm going to be decreasing my hero underscore position dot x-axis by 5 pixels per frame. Did I spell pygame wrong? There we go. I need dot instead. Okay, and then if my keys at index of pygame dot k is up, if my top key is pressed, I'm going to be increasing my hero underscore position dot y-axis by 5 pixels per frame, and that should be 5. Okay, and lastly, if my keys at index of pygame dot k is down, k underscore down, if my bottom key is pressed, I'm going to be increasing my hero underscore position dot y-axis by 5 pixels per frame. I will decrease it here actually. What do you made, man? Honestly, I'm trying to learn and get a quick gist of vectors and everything Python. Till now, like if I run the command right now, like nothing is going to be seen except of a blank screen because I didn't like draw my objects yet on my screen. So I gotta add my game objects, but honestly that won't take that long because I'm almost done. Okay, so next up, let me go ahead and add my game objects. Before I add my game objects, I gotta do one small thing here. I'll go with my hero underscore rect dot center. I set that equal to my hero underscore position. Okay, for my game objects, let me go ahead and create an object for my shield. Let me go ahead and create a shield object. I'll set that equal to, let's see, excuse me guys, my shield class. Okay, now I'll need a few parameters. So the first parameter is going to be position. My shield's position is going to be equal to my shield position. Okay, and my hero's position, my target is going to be, honestly, I just need my shield's position, right? Okay, and then all the way down here, I'm going to go with my shield object dot target, the target function. Actually, not target, the update function. The parameter is going to be my target. My target is going to be my hero's position. Alright, and then next up, I'll go with my shield object dot the draw method. I want to draw my shield object. Okay, maybe I'll go ahead and add a comment that says and graphics as well. Okay, and now let's draw my hero. So for drawing my hero, I'll go with a screen.blit. My image is going to be my hero underscore image. My position will be my hero underscore position. Actually, my hero underscore rect. That is equal to my hero's position. If I were to run the command. Okay. Alright, perfect. The shield actually follows me, guys. I'm actually not even kidding. I didn't expect this to work this nicely. Okay, I mean, it's not even that perfect yet, but okay, I think I get a quick gist of it. That said, let me go back to my Discord, delete the whole thing, and now try typing it again. So I'll import Pygame and sys. And guys, the reason I am typing it again is because I like to practice a lot so I don't eventually forget it. Okay, that said, I'll import sys, and then from let's say from pygame.math, I want to import Vector2. And guys, is it important to load Vector1 and Vector3 as well? Because I might go through those as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and initialize Pygame by tapping pygame.init and then add a display comment. Okay, for my display, I'll go with my width variable. I'll create a width variable, so width and a height variable. My width variable is going to be equal to 1000 and my height variable is going to be equal to 60. And then let me go ahead and create a screen variable, which is going to be equal to pygame.display.set underscore mode. My mode is going to be set to my width variable and my height variable. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a caption. So I'll go with pygame.display.set underscore caption. My caption is going to be something like Vector2 1.6. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add my game variables. So I'll go with game variables. For my game variables, I would need a clock variable for my FPS controller. So let me set that equal to pygame.time.capitalize clock. And maybe I'll add a comment that says FPS controller. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a FPS variable. Also that equal to 60. And then load my images. So I'll add a comment that says load images. For loading my images, firstly, I'll go ahead and honestly, I might load a separate image this time. I'll go with player underscore image. I'll set that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path. My file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by NPCs, 2 more forward slashes. That's going to be my skeleton PNG. I could change this to skeleton image. There we go. And since this is a PNG, I will convert it to alpha. So let me convert underscore alpha. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and load my weapons image. What weapon should I load this time? I might go with, let's say coin underscore image. So coin underscore image is going to be equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path. My file path for my coin image is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by drops, 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my gold coin PNG, and since this is a PNG, I will convert it to alpha. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and transform and load my images. So I'll go with transform and scale. So to transform and scale, firstly, I'm going to go ahead and define a scale function. My scale function will have 2 parameters. The first parameter is going to be my image parameter, and the second is going to be a factor parameter. Factor is basically the size. I'll set my factor slash size to be 0.1 and then return pygame.transform.scale. I want to scale my image. My size is going to be in a tuple. I'll go to a new line. And then now inside of a integer, I'm going to be getting the width of my image and multiplying it by my factor. So I'll go with image.theget underscore width function. I get the width of my image and I multiply by my factor, add a comma. Do the same thing for my height. I go with an integer. Inside of my integer, I go with my image parameter dot the get underscore height function, and I multiply my height by my factor. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and transform my skeleton image. So I go with skeleton underscore image. I set that equal to pygame.image.load. I give the file path of my skeleton image. So the file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by NPCs, 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be, okay, my bad guys, I just zoned out for a bit. I'm going to be invoking my scale function, or like, yeah, invoking my scale function. I want to scale my skeleton underscore image. And then let's go with my coin underscore image. Also that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my coin underscore image. And honestly, my coin underscore image will be relatively smaller than my skeleton underscore image. So I'll change the factor to be 0.05. Okay. Next up, let's see. I'll go ahead and add a class. I honestly might add a class for my hero as well this time. So I'll go ahead and add a hero class. For my hero class, I'm going to go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. My dungeon init constructor will have a few parameters. For example, x-axis underscore velocity, y-axis underscore velocity. Let's say something like, I'll go with position and image. My image is going to be equal to my hero underscore image by default. So let me go with hero image, actually player image. What was my, okay, skeleton image. There we go, and this is going to be my skeleton class. Okay, position is going to be something like 100 by 300. Alright, next up, let me create a few instance variables. So self.x-axis underscore velocity is going to be equal to x-axis underscore velocity. I might set this to be a keyword argument of like 5 pixels per frame. Okay, and then self.y-axis underscore velocity equals to y-axis underscore velocity. And self.position equals to my position. Honestly, instead of going with self.position instance variable, I might create a self.image, also that equal to my skeleton underscore image dot the get underscore rect function. My position is going to be in the top left, which is going to be equal to my position parameter. Alright, and then let me go ahead and create a rect. So self.rect is going to be equal to, let's see, my self.image.the-get underscore rect function. And honestly, guys, when I went with self.image, I should honestly set this. I feel like kind of flipped this part. This is just going to be my skeleton underscore image and my skeleton image.get rect. Okay, here I'm going to add top left, which is going to be equal to my position. Okay, then I drink some coffee. Guys, I honestly feel like I need a stronger coffee. I'm like way too sleepy. Okay, with that said, I want to add mask because I'm not going to be using pixel perfect collision here. So let me go ahead and define a function. I'll define a move function. My move function will be having a parameter of keys to it. Okay, now let's add a few if statements. If my keys at index of pygame.k is right, if my right key is pressed, I increase my self.rect.x-axis, or I could go with my, actually this is perfect. My self.rect.x-axis, my skeleton's x-axis by my x-axis underscore velocity. And if my keys at index of pygame.k is left, if my left key is pressed, I'm going to be decreasing my, this is going to be self.x-axis underscore velocity. Okay, I'll be decreasing my self.rect.x-axis, my skeleton's x-axis by my self.x-axis underscore velocity. Self.x-axis underscore velocity. Okay, and then if my keys at index of pygame.k is up, if my top key is pressed, I'm going to be, let's see, let me go ahead and decrease my self.rect.y-axis this time by my self.y-axis underscore velocity. And lastly, if my keys at index of pygame.k is down, if my down key is pressed or if my bottom key is pressed, I'm gonna be let me increase my self.rect.y-axis, my skeleton's y-axis by my self.y-axis underscore velocity. Okay, perfect. And honestly, I did want to add gravity to my player as well, but I will eventually add that once I get a gist of the vectors. That said, let's see. So I go with move. Let me go ahead and define a draw method as well. Okay, my draw method will have a surface parameter to it, which is going to be set to screen by default. Okay, let me zoom in a little and then go with surface.blit. I want to blit something. I want to blit my self.image, which is my skeleton's image, and my self.rect, which is my skeleton's position. Okay, next up, let me create a class for my, what's it called, my coin? Okay, let me create a coin class. My coin class won't inherit from anyone. That said, I will be having a dungeon in it constructor. So let me go ahead and define the... Maybe I keep the coffee here, because I need a lot of coffee for this. Okay, let me go ahead and define a dungeon in it constructor. Okay, and my dungeon constructor will be having a few parameters. Since my coin is going to be chasing my player, I'll need a position of my coin, and let's say speed as well. Okay, my speed is going to be equal to, my speed might be relatively slower than my skeleton speed, so like 3 pixels per frame. And then I'll create a few instance variables. So first is going to be self.position, which is going to be equal to vector2. This is going to be my position parameter. And then I might need a self.speed as well. Self.speed, which is going to be equal to my speed parameter. Alright, what else would I need? Excuse me, guys. I honestly might need a rect, so I'll go with self.rect. I'll set that equal to, honestly, yeah, I think it should. Okay, self.rect is going to be equal to my coin underscore image dot the get underscore rect function. The position is going to be in the center, which is going to be equal to, let's see, my self.position. Okay, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and define a update method. So I'll define a update method. My update method will have a target parameter to it. So target, there we go. Okay, and then I need to create direction and check for zero division errors. So let me create a direction variable. I'll set that equal to my vector2 with the parameter of target. Okay, I subtract that by my self.position. Okay, that's my direction. And then I want to check for zero division errors. So I'll go with if my direction dot the length function, if my direction's length is greater than 0, I'm going to be creating velocity. I'll go with self.velocity. I'll set that equal to, let's see, self.velocity. Okay, this is going to be my, I honestly forgot what was my velocity set to. So self.velocity. Okay. Did it need to be my self.image? Actually, not self.image. Something minus my position. I actually might check the reference real quick for this. Okay, so when I create my velocity, okay, I normalize my direction and I multiply it by my speed. Alright. So I can go with my direction variable dot the normalized function. I normalize my direction and I multiply that by my self dot speed. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then after I normalize my speed, I go with my self dot rect dot center my coin center. Okay, do I increase that by my position? I'm pretty sure I set that equal to my position. Okay, I set that equal to my set that position. If I were to check the reference again, okay, I increase my position by my velocity. Okay, forgot this part. So after we normalize our direction, we increase our position by our velocity. That's how our coin moves. Okay, so let's go with self dot position. I increase that, so self dot position plus equals my self dot velocity. Okay, and then I do the rect part. So self dot rect dot center, my coin center is going to be equal to my self dot position. Okay, was this part correct? There we go, that was correct. Okay, and then let me go ahead and define a coin method. Actually, a draw method. My draw method will be having a parameter of surface to it, which is going to be equal to screen by default. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a surface.blit. Okay, I want to blit my, let's say, coin image. The position is going to be my coin rect. My coin, actually my self underscore rect, which is my coin's rectangle. Okay, then I drink some coffee. Oh, there we go, that's strong. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a few objects. So for my objects, firstly, I could create an object for my skeleton. So I'll create a skeleton object, maybe zoom in a little. I'll set that equal to my skeleton class. Now, what other parameters would I need? X-axis underscore velocity set to 5. I think every single position is a keyword argument here. I mean, every single parameter. There we go. Self.image is my skeleton image. Okay, I might not need the image parameter here. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a class for my coin. Coin is going to be equal to my coin class. There we go. I will need a position and speed parameter. My position is going to be equal to... Did I create positions? I didn't create positions yet. So under my transform, I'll go ahead and add Vector2 positions. For my Vector2 positions, let's see. Let me go ahead and create a skeleton underscore position first. I'll set that equal to Vector2. My x-axis is going to be 100 and y-axis is going to be 300. Okay, and my position here, instead of adding that, could be equal to my skeleton position. Alright, next up, let me go ahead and add a position for my coin. So I'll go with coin underscore position. I'll set that equal to Vector2, my x-axis and y-axis. Did I add positions here? Yeah. Okay, so my position is going to be something around 500 by 100. So it's going to be a bit at the top right of my screen. Actually, top left. Okay, so my position is going to be my skeleton position. Okay. Alright, next up, let me go ahead and add my game loop. So for my game loop, I am going to be creating a is underscore running boolean variable. Also, that equal to true. I think I got a comment on Twitch. Hey bro, what are you developing? Why not Unity? Bro is talking. Honestly, oh wait, am I audible, guys? Okay, honestly, I am just working. I'm trying to like wrap Python up before I move on to like C++ because I did have a series where I like learned Python for 100 days, and my Python 400 days series was over like 3 days ago. So I'm wrapping up Python by learning about vectors, and then I'm going to be moving on to C++. And my main goal by the end of this programming for 250 days series is to be making a game in general that includes artificial intelligence / AI. I don't know how would I do that for now, but then I think I'll eventually figure that out. Can heard. Am I audible, guys? I should like actually make sure because I like forgot to check if I'm audible. Let's see. It would be like real bad if I like later see my video and I'm not audible. Wait, there's no way I'm not audible. Hold up, guys. Okay, I'm audible. That scared me for a second. I was like, there's no way I was not audible. Okay, can hearing. Okay, yes. I started panicking for a second. Okay, don't worry. Alright, yeah, okay, I'm not worried anymore. I was well worried, guys. Okay, so let me create is underscore running boolean variable. I'll set that equal to true and then add a while loop. So while is underscore running, while my program is running, I'm going to be setting, actually I'm going to be filling my screen first. So I'll go with screen.fill. I want to fill my screen to be a good, honestly, let's go with a good gray color now. So I'll go with 200 by 200 by 200. And then let's add a keys variable. Also that equals to pygame.key.get underscore pressed. This checks if any of my keys gets pressed. And then let me go ahead and let's see, let me add a event loop. So for my event loop, I'm going to be iterating over all my Pygame events. So I'll go with for every event in my pygame.event.get. This basically gets all my Pygame events, but I'm looking for a specific type of event. Let me just change that to lowercase form. Okay, so if my event.type equals to pygame.quit, okay, I'm going to be setting my is underscore running boolean variable to be equal to false. Okay, then outside my for loop, so you're learning programming for 100 days already? Sorry for that, Brenda, you're good. Honestly, I'm learning programming for 250 days because I thought 100 days would be real less for this because I do need to learn multiple programming languages, then get in a mindset of like an AI engineer, maybe learn some machine learning. I don't know much, guys. I don't know what am I going to be doing. That said, let me go ahead and add FPS. So I'll go with clock.tick function. And I want to add my FPS here. Maybe I'll add a comment that says FPS. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a pygame.display.flip. I'm going to update my display. Although pygame.display.update would work exactly the same as pygame.display.flip. Let me go with a pygame.quit to exit pygame. And lastly, a sys.exit to exit Python. Why multiple languages? Honestly, it is like recommended to like learn multiple languages so you get a brief idea on it, because Python is morely in my opinion, guys, you guys can fact check me, Python is morely like for working on detailed stuff like AIs and everything. C++ is morely for making games and everything. C++ is like the dedicated language because it's faster than Python. Although if you use Python and C++, C++ could compensate for the Python slow speed. If that made any sense, guys, like just fact check me. I'm actually kind of new with this stuff. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and add a player movement. So player movement. For my player movement, I'm going to be adding an if statement. So if my keys at index of pygame.k is right, if my right key is pressed, I'm going to be increasing my hero underscore position dot x-axis by my, let's see, let's say by my x-axis underscore velocity. I could add my hero movement. Okay, I don't need to add hero movement because inside of my skeleton class, I did have a move method here. So I wouldn't need honestly anything much. So let me just go ahead and add a, let's see. I forgot, what was it called? Game objects and graphics. Okay, for my game objects, I'll go with my skeleton object dot the move method. I want to move my skeleton. The parameter is going to be my keys, and then I'll go with my skeleton object dot the draw method. I want to draw my skeleton. Excuse me, guys. And then let's go ahead and add my coin.update method. Okay, so I want to update my position. So what parameter? This is going to be my target's parameter. My target is going to be my skeleton underscore position. Okay, and then let's see, let me go with a coin.draw. So coin object dot the draw method. I want to draw my coin. Alright, perfect. Disagree if you started it better to start with one starting. Honestly, yeah, I did start like Python 100 days ago, so I have like 100 days of experience if that's like a lot at all. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and run the command. Okay, my whatchamacallit, skeleton can move perfectly. Now, the reason my coin isn't chasing my skeleton is because inside of my move method, I should add my let's see, self.rect.center. My coins is center. I will increase that by my self dot, actually not self dot, by my skeleton's position. Okay, I could change this to my skeleton's position as well. Okay, instead of going with Rect, since I'm working with vectors, I could change this to my position dot y-axis. Does that make sense? Because position is equal to, so should I create a, let's see. Okay, my Rect does include my position, so I think Rect will work. Okay, if I were to run the command. Okay, I think that was like kind of wrong. Okay, let me just delete that, go with the control C. Let me ask Sensei. Let's get Sensei here. I think I did almost everything correct. Let me paste this, add a bunch of spaces, and say Sensei. Wrong class, that's your skeleton, not coin. Hold up, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. So for my skeleton class, I updated my position. If direction.length is greater than 0, okay, I'm pretty sure this part is correct. It does accelerate my self.position. Okay, this is going to be my self.speed, which is set to 3 pixels per frame. Okay, wait, if I run the command again real quick. The coin is stuck in one position. Could it be because I'm not using my coin underscore position vector2 because I just created that? Okay, my position is going to be equal to my coin's position. Okay, what happens if I run the command now? Okay, it still doesn't work. Huh. What, I guess let me ask Sensei. Hey, let's get Sensei your pace. Sensei, say something like I feel like I messed up, question mark. Okay, let's see where I messed up. Let me check my Twitch stream's going good. Oh, Vivek, I see exactly where you're confused, and I'm gonna tear this apart gently so you understand it fully. Okay, perfect. Right now your coin is chasing the skeleton, yes, but you're passing skeleton's position, which is never updated. Instead of the skeleton's current position, that's why the coin will just sit there or move weirdly. Coin that updates skeleton's position. Skeleton is my target. Skeleton position was defined at the top. Skeleton position. But your skeleton is actually moving its rect, not updating the position. So skeleton underscore position, the coin has no idea where the skeleton really is. Fix. Pass the skeleton's rect each frame. Okay. Also, you didn't need the skeleton position vector 2 anymore unless you want it as a starting point. Here's the corrected snippet. Okay, pass actual positions. So wait, the reason I wasn't passing actual position. Before I passed skeleton's position because I had a separate variable for his position. Now I have a class where I move the rect, not the position. Okay, that actually makes sense. Bro, I also call my ChatGPT Sensei. Hell yes, Sensei is at peak, if that made any sense. Okay, let's see. Okay, so instead of skeleton position, this is going to be my skeleton object dot, let's see, that's my skeleton class. My skeleton object dot rect dot center. Okay, now if I run the command. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I see the mistake that I was doing. So basically what I was doing wrong is because, I mean, before, if I go to like this code, when I blitted my image, when I added my graphics here, I went with hero underscore position. The reason I went with hero underscore position as my target here is because in my player movement, I was increasing my hero's position instead of my hero's rect. But since I had a class here now, I was increasing my hero's rect's x-axis instead of my hero's position. So I wouldn't even need this, honestly. And I could just change that position to like 100 by 300. Okay, now if we're in the command, let me just change that everywhere. Okay, instead of coin position, coin. Okay, so this is my coin class. This is going to be my skeleton class. dot rect dot center. Okay, now if I run the command, skeleton class EOE. Did I spell it wrong? Okay, actually, never mind. Okay, didn't I need my coins? Okay, I think I needed my skeleton. Okay, let's see. If I remove my hero position, I could change that to 100 by 300. Okay. And then for my coins class, I need a target. My target is my skeleton's current position. Oh, I see. Okay. So I did update my. Didn't I update my skeleton's position? I didn't update my skeleton's position. Okay, well that is because I was looking at the wrong code. Oh my gosh. No wait, no man, I was looking at the correct code. Okay, I think let me try writing that again. I'll go with the Control A, delete this whole thing. Okay, let me start off by importing Pygame and sys, and then from Pygame, from my Pygame's module, from my pygame.math, I'll import Vector2. Okay, and then let's see, let me go ahead and initialize Pygame by typing pygame.init. That initializes Pygame. Okay, and then let's see, let me go ahead and add my display. So I'll go with a comment that says display. For my display, I'll need a width variable and a height variable. Okay, my width variable is going to be equal to 1000 and my height variable is going to be equal to 650. Then let me go ahead and create a screen variable, also that equal to Pygame. Did I like it? Okay, for my width variable, for my screen, I'll set that equal to pygame.display.set_mode. My mode is going to be a tuple of my width variable and my height variable. Also, why do you have x-axis velocity and y-axis velocity for your skeleton? Just use Vector2 for velocity. Let's see. Honestly, I think I added it out of habit because I didn't even need my velocities here. Like, I'm so used to adding velocities, I should like get used to adding vectors, because vectors for smooth movement. Add a comment. Okay, now for my velocities, would this mean that I gotta add my position? Should I create a position? Okay, might create a speed parameter here. So let me add a speed parameter. I'll set that equal to 5 pixels per frame. Okay, and then I'll go with self.speed. Okay, I'll create an instance variable. So self.speed equals to my speed parameter. Okay, perfect. Let me just copy self.speed, paste it here. Okay, and then go with self.speed here as well. Speed, and lastly go with self.speed here. Let's see if this works. I mean, I'm pretty sure it will. Okay, if I were to run the command. There we go. Okay, that was actually kind of genius, because like I've been like so used to like creating x-axis and y-axis velocities. This actually makes things much easier. You also don't need to set it as an argument in theory. It should be 0 on startup, honestly. Okay, let me remove it from here. Okay, and instead of having speed there, I'll change that to 0. If I run the command. Okay, actually, let me change that to 5 pixels per frame. Okay, now if I run the command. Oh, there we go. Okay. Honestly, I feel like adding it as an argument would be like the same thing if it's like a keyword argument, but it's honestly the same thing as an instance variable as well. Okay, that was actually pretty good. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a caption. So I'll go with pygame.display.set_caption. My caption is going to be something like Vector2. Let's go with 1.6. Okay, and then after I add my caption, let's see. Let me go ahead and add my game variables. So I'll go with game variables. For my game variables, I'm going to be creating a clock variable for my FPS controller. I'll set that equal to pygame.time.capitalize clock. Okay, maybe I'll add a comment that says FPS controller. This is going to be my FPS controller. And then let me go ahead and add a FPS variable. Also, that equal to 60 frames per second. Okay, let's see. Then I'll like drink some coffee actually. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and load a few images. So I'll go with load images. Okay, so what images do I want to load? Let's see. Honestly, I might load a shield image this time. So shield underscore image, also that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my shield image. The file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes. This is going to be under my weapons category. So let me go with weapons. Okay, followed by 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my shield PNG. And since this is a PNG, this is going to be shield. Okay, and since this is a PNG, I will convert it to alpha. So convert underscore alpha. And then drink some real water. Because guys, I feel I drank a lot of coffee. Okay, let's see. Next up, let me go ahead and load, I could go with the coin image. So I'll go with coin underscore image. I'll set that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my coin image. The file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes, followed by drops, followed by 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my gold coin PNG, and since this is a PNG, I will convert it to alpha. Okay, perfect. Speed and velocity are a bit different. You have a self.velocity as a vector2. You can just do self.position plus equal self.velocity in your update, then move your character. Just set self.x-axis velocity.x/y. Oh, I see. That actually sounds pretty smart. I honestly might try that. Okay, but before that, let me go ahead and transform and scale. Okay, so to transform and scale my images, I'll go ahead and define a scale function. My scale function will have 2 parameters. The first is going to be an image parameter. The second is going to be a factor parameter, which is basically size. I'll set my factor to be 0.1 by default, which is 10%. It has the added bonus of allowing you to use vector math as well. Oh, that's actually pretty insane. So let me go ahead and return pygame.transform. Excuse me, guys. Transform.scale. I want to scale my image, and the size, the factor is going to be in a tuple. I'll go in a new line and go with integer. Now inside of my integer, I'm going to be getting the width of image and multiplying it by my factor. So I'll go with image dot the get underscore width function. I'll get the width of my image and I'll multiply it by my factor. Then add a comma, maybe go to a new line, then go with integer. I'll go with my image.get underscore height function. I'll get the height of my image and then multiply it by my factor as well. Okay, and then let me transform my images. So firstly, I'll go with my shield underscore image. I'll set that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my shield underscore image. And then I'll go with my coin underscore image. I'll set that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my coin underscore image. The size, this is going to be my coin underscore image. The size is going to be relatively smaller than my shields image, so I'll set it equal to 0.05. Okay, and next up, let me go ahead and create a class for my vectors. So I'll go with Vector2 position. For my Vector2 position, I'll create a shield underscore position variable. I'll set that equal to Vector2 in a pair of parentheses. I'll go with the x-axis and y-axis. My x-axis is going to be 100, y-axis is going to be something like 300. And then let me go ahead and add a vector position. Honestly, I think I might not need a vector position for my coin image. I'll just add it. So I'll go with coin underscore image. I'll set that equal to vector2. My x-axis is going to be something like 500. Y-axis is going to be something like 100. Alright, perfect. Coin underscore position. So coin underscore position. It's usually best to practice to store all positions / velocity / acceleration values as vectors, as they describe these quantities very well. Honestly, yeah. Okay, I actually will try that, because like I gotta do some more learning about that part, because I honestly didn't use acceleration yet. I think it's the same as velocities though. You tested that? Honestly, I didn't like test like storing them inside of the stuff, so I like got to test the practice, and if it is a good practice, I'm actually going to be trying that as well, because I like to like learn like doing the actual stuff. If that made any sense, guys. I feel like I can't phrase right now. Okay, let's see. Next up, let me go ahead and create classes. So the first class I'm going to be creating is going to be my hero class. In my hero class, I'm going to be adding a dungeon init constructor. So let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. my dungeon constructor will be having a few parameters. The first is going to be something like, let's see, a position parameter, which is going to be equal to my shield position. Honestly, I could change this to shield. Acceleration is to velocity. What velocity is to position? Super easy. Acceleration is to velocity. What velocity is to position? Oh, I see. Okay. So basically, acceleration is going to increase the speed of my velocity, and my velocity increases the speed of my position. That's actually a genius way to memorize that. Okay, then let me go with shield. Its assistance standard form is usually velocity increases by acceleration. Okay, that's actually genius, guys. You guys are way too smart. Okay, that said, so I need a self.position, and then I'll go with a self.image. Honestly, I wouldn't need self.image. This might be the only parameter that I need. Let me create a few instance variables. So first is going to be self.image. I'll set self.image to be equal to let's see, to be equal to my shield image. So shield image, okay, honestly, just my shield image. And then I'll go with self.rect. My self.rect is going to be equal to my self.image.the get underscore rect function. My position is going to be in the center, which is going to be equal to, let's see, my position, which is my shield's position. That is 100 by 300. If velocity increases position, acceleration increases velocity. Yeah, that. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense now, because I know that acceleration is like pushing something when it accelerates, and then like velocity is like the movement speed and it's something. So like acceleration increases velocity, velocity increases speed. Okay, it all makes sense now, guys. I was like today years old before I figured that out. That said, I won't be creating mask because I won't be using pixel perfect collision, although I will need speed. So I'll go with self.speed. I'll set that equal to 5 pixels per frame. Acceleration is the quantity you change if you wish to simulate things like force, friction, or air resistance. Honestly, I did try it like with gravity. I did like use that part where like I increase my player's y-axis by my gravity, which is set to 0.5. So like my players like pull downwards, like, but then I need a landing as well. So if my player's bottom is like above, like greater than or equal to my floor's bottom, I set my player's bottom to be at the same level as my floor's bottom. If that made any sense. I did like try that. Like if I go to my main game here, I did use like the gravity concept like right here under my player class. There we go. Okay, right here. So like I increase my my hero's y-axis velocity by my gravity. Then I increase my hero's y-axis position by my y-axis velocity. And then I do that for landing. Okay, gravity is also an acceleration. That's actually perfect. That makes so much sense now. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and define another method for my shield. Let's see. What other methods would my shield need? A move method. So let me go ahead and define a move method. My shield's move method will have a keys parameter to it. Okay, and then I'll add a few if statements. If my keys is parameter at index of pygame.k is right, if my right key is pressed, I'm going to be increasing my self.rect.x-axis, my shield's x-axis, by my, let's see, I have a position here, right? So I'll go with self.speed. Okay, which is set to 5 pixels per frame. And then if my keys at index of pygame.k is left, if my left key is pressed, I'm going to decrease my self.rect.x-axis by my self.speed. Okay. Alright, and then if my keys at index of pygame.k is up, if my top key is pressed, I'm going to be doing something else. I'm going to be decreasing my self.rect.y-axis, my hero's y-axis or my shield's y-axis, by self.speed. Okay, which is set to 5 pixels per frame. And lastly, if my keys at index of pygame.k is down, if my bottom key is pressed, I'm going to increase my self.rect.y-axis by my self.speed. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that basically adds movement to my hero. Let me go ahead and define a draw method. I could like create a game objects parent class. I might actually do that this time. Let me create a game objects parent class to add the draw method. So I'll create a class for my game object. So game object. My game objects class is going to be having a image parameter. Let's see, a image parameter. Honestly, okay, a position, right? I could go with a position as well. I would need x-axis velocity and y-axis velocity. Okay, I think just image and position. Okay, position is going to be equal to 0 and 0 by default. Okay, this shouldn't go here. This should go inside of my dungeon init. Let me copy that. Okay, so my game objects class will have a dungeon init constructor. My dungeon init constructor will have a few parameters. Let me paste that here. Okay, now remove it from the tuple. There we go. Okay, perfect. Dungeon init. Okay, so it has an image parameter and a position parameter. Right, of quotes. You can make a speed direction vector 2 which has 1 and 0 when key right, -1, 0 when key left, etc. When you normalize the vector and multiply by speed, normalize is dividing by the size of the vector. Okay, that does make sense, but I can't I don't know how do I phrase it in like the syntax. I might have sensed that actually does sound pretty good. When, okay, which has 1 or 0 when key is right. Should I go with like if statements? If my position is either 1 or 0, move right. If it's -1 or 0, move left. Okay, I might actually try that later. Okay, so I'm going to be creating a few instance variables. First is going to be image, so self.image is going to be equal to my image parameter. And then let me go ahead and create a self.rect. My self.rect is going to be equal to my self.image. The get underscore rect function, my position is going to be top left, which is going to be equal to my position parameter. That is set to 0 for now. I won't be adding masks because I'm not going to be using pixel perfect collision. That said, I will be having a draw method. So let me go ahead and define a draw method with a parameter of surface to it. That is going to be equal to, excuse me guys, screen by default. And then let me add surface.blit. I want to blit something. So let's see, what do I want to blit? I want to blit my self.image for my object's image and self.rect for my object's position. Normalize, in short, just reduces the vectors to its direction component with a magnitude of exactly 1. Okay, normalize in short just reduces the vector to its directions component. Oh, I see. Okay, so basically, if my object is like at like a certain position, then my dot normalize function will reduce my, or like keep subtracting my, my second object, or like for example my projectile's position until it doesn't reach, or like until it's not at the same position as my my target, if that made any sense. Okay, that's basically it for my game objects class here. So I won't need a draw class here. Instead, I am going to be inheriting from my game objects class, so I'll go with game objects class. And now, after my dungeon init, I wouldn't need any of these. Okay. Instead, let me go ahead and add a super parentheses dot dungeon init. My super dungeon init is going to be having all the parameters of the class that I'm inheriting from. Since I'm inheriting from the game objects class, I'm going to be needing all the parameters of my game objects class. So my game object class image parameter is going to be equal to, let's see, my shield's image. So I gotta add an image parameter here as well. So I'll go with image. So image, okay, is going to be equal to my shield's image. That is going to be set to my shield image by default. Okay, and then I need a position parameter. My position parameter is going to be equal to my shield images, or my shield class's position parameter. Simple implementation. Honestly, that actually does sound pretty good. Okay, class shields. Okay, so that should basically be it for my shield class. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a coins class. So let me go ahead and create a class for my coins. Okay, my coins class will inherit from my game objects class. And then let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. What are parameters would my coins class need? My coins class would need like a position parameter and a image parameter. Position is going to be equal to my coin position, okay, and image is going to be equal to my coin image. So a vector is a quantity with magnitude and direction. In that case of velocity, it gives you the speed you're traveling at and the direction you're moving. When normalized, you only have direction, okay. Then you do if direction.length is greater than 0, normalize. Oh, I see. Okay, speed multiplied by position plus direction. Okay, the way I did that part was, I think I went something like this. So under my update, I went with self.velocity equals to my direction.normalize multiplied by speed. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and add a super dungeon init. So super parentheses dot dungeon init. My super dungeon is going to be having a few parameters. Actually, all the parameters of the class that I'm inheriting from, since I'm inheriting from my game objects class, I'm going to be needing all of its parameters. So image is going to be equal to image, position is going to be equal to position. And guys, I honestly might have to like end the live soon because like I have an exam for my college like in a few days and I actually need to prepare for it. Okay, that said, okay, I honestly don't feel prepared at all because like I rarely got sleep, guys. Okay, so I wouldn't need any parameters or like any instance variables for my coin class. Okay, although I would need a method. Let me go ahead and define a method. The reason I won't need any parameters for my position is my coin position, coin image. Okay, let me go ahead and define a update method. Okay, for my update method, I'm going to be needing a target parameter. Okay, next up, let me create a direction variable. I'll set my direction to be equal to, let's see. Okay, so my direction is going to be equal to my vector2. This is going to be my target parameter. I'll subtract that by my speed. So, okay, I can go with self.speed. So let me go ahead and create a instance variable of self.speed. Okay, I'll set my speed to be equal to 5 pixels per frame. Honestly, I'll go with 3 pixels per frame. Okay, minus my self.speed. There we go. Self.speed equals to 3. Okay, vector2 target minus the self.speed equals to 3. Okay, let me check what error I'm getting. Unused. Okay, expected type sequence like float, local variable direction used. Okay, genetic vector got integer instead. Okay, so vector multiplied by my, was it speed? Honestly, let me just check the reference code. Okay, so for my speed, I added a position. Oh, I forgot to add my position. I already have my rect, but this looks like a separate rect position here because, okay, I don't think it's a separate position because like, okay, so my position here, can I like use a vector here? So like, here I had vector of my position parameter. Okay, my position was my coin position, so just curious, can I add vector here? Okay, let me just delete that real quick. Go with vector2. This is gonna be my coin position. Speed is a number and position is a vector. That subtraction doesn't work. You need to subtract velocities. You define it by subtracting target position from current, because then normalize and multiply by speed. Honestly, I think I understand maybe. Let's see. Okay, let's go with a self.position. Also, that equal to my position variable. That is equal to vector2, my coin's position. Speed and direction are not the same data type. Replace speed with velocity. Replace speed with velocity. Oh, okay. I think I need. Okay, let me just remove speed from here. Okay, instead of speed, let's see. Okay, I mean, speed is like 3 pixels per frame, and then I add rex, then I add my velocities there. Okay, so I subtracted by my position instead of my speed. Okay, so my direction x is going to be vector2. I subtract it by my position, okay, and then I check for zero division error. But okay, first I check for zero division error. So if my direction is greater than, let's say 0, maybe I'll add a comment that says avoids zero division error. There we go. Okay, okay, so if my direction is greater than 0, I'm going to be creating velocity. Self dot velocity equals to, I'm going to get my direction, then normalize it. If you want velocity to be directed to target, then the velocity is target minus position normalized. Oh yeah, honestly, I did want my velocity to be directed towards my target. Okay, like a magnet. That said, I'll go with my direction dot the normalized function. I'm going to subtract that by my, let's see, actually I'm going to multiply that by my speed. So let me create a self.speed instance variable, self.speed. Also that equal to 5 pixels per frame. This is going to be my self.speed. Okay, and then let's see. Under this, let me I gotta increase my position, so let me go with my self.position increases by my self.velocity. Okay, and my position is here. There we go. Okay, and then let me go ahead and create a rect. I could create a rect here, so I could go with something like self.rect.center. My coin center is gonna be let's see, self.rect.center. Okay, it's gonna be equal to my self.image. I don't have like a, do I got like a rect here? Okay, I go with my coins image dot the get underscore rect. So self.rect equals to my self.image dot get underscore rect. The position is going to be in the center, which is going to be equal to my position, self.position. Okay, hi, how are you doing, Roberto? I appreciate you joining the stream. You can make the speed ingress with game time so it becomes harder. You can make the speed increase with game time so it becomes harder. Oh, has time passed? Honestly, I think I need to like add like a stopwatch for that. Okay, that actually does sound pretty fun as well. I might actually do that. Huh. Okay, so this part basically. Okay, let me go ahead and define a draw method now. Let me define draw. My draw method will have a parameter of surface to it that is going to be set to screen by default. Okay. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a surface.blitz. I want to blitz something to my screen. Let's see. I want to blitz my self.image, which is technically, I don't have my image here right now. Okay, I could create a self.image, honestly. Self.image.get underscore width. So let me go with the self.image. Self.image is going to be equal to, okay, I do have a image here. I do have a image. That is my coin image. I want to blitz my self.image. The position is going to be my self.rect. Okay. Next up, let me go ahead and create my game loop. So I'll go with a comment that says game loop. So game loop. For my game loop, I'll go ahead and create a is underscore running boolean variable. Okay, I'll set that equal to true and then add a while loop. So while is underscore running while my program is running or while my running is set to true. There we go. I'm going to be filling my screen, so I'll go with a screen.fill. I want to fill my screen to be a good blue color, so I'll go with 0, 231, and 255. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a keys variable, so that equal to pygame.key.get underscore pressed. This checks if any of my keys are getting pressed. And then I won't be adding player movements. Instead, I'll be adding a event loop, so I'll go with event loop. For my event loop, I'll iterate over all my Pygame events. So for every event, in my Pygame.event.get, this basically gets all my Pygame events, but I'm looking for a specific type of event. If my event.type equals to pygame dot all uppercase quit. I'm gonna set my is underscore running boolean variable to be equal to false. And then outside my for loop, I'll add FPS. I'll go with clock dot tick, my clock variable dot tick, my FPS variable, which is set to 60, so I'll have 60 frames per second. And then let me update my display by typing pygame.display.flip. This basically updates my display, although pygame.display.update will work exactly the same. I'll go with a pygame.quit to exit pygame, and then lastly a sys.exit to exit python. Now under my event loop, but above my clock, above my FPS, I'm going to be adding my game objects. So I'll add a comment that says game objects. Okay, for my game objects, did I create objects? I didn't create objects. Let's create objects. The first object could be for my shield. Shield object is going to be equal to my shield class. Okay, I wouldn't need any parameters. And then let me go ahead and create an object for my coin. So my coin object is going to be equal to my coin class. Okay, perfect. I wouldn't need positions, right? Because my position is already set. Alright, perfect. Okay, inside of my game objects, I'll go with my shield object dot the move method. This is gonna let my shield move with the parameter of keys to it. And then let me go ahead and add my coin object. So coin object dot, let's see, what method was it called? I forgot. Okay, I gotta go with the update method. So my coin object dot the update method, and the target is gonna be my shield's position. Actually, I might go with my shield's rectangle. Do I have my shield here? Okay, so when I created my shield class, I increased it with its speed. Okay. Okay, I do have shield position, so let's do that. Okay, I'll go with my target is going to be my shield underscore position. Alright, next up I'll go with coin.draw. I want to draw my coin. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and run the command. Okay, type error not supported between instance of pygame.math.vector2 integer line 65. Let's check line 65. Right there, surface is set to screen by default. Okay, we have a self.image and a self.rect. Should this be okay, this is going to be rect. Should it be center? Oh, I think I need to even update my positions. I'm pretty sure this didn't like fix anything. Okay, type error greater than. Okay, let's see. So my rect is self.image.get underscore rect. Honestly, I feel like I already have a rect inside of my game objects class. I'm creating all those variables already. Okay, I have an image, so I might not need the rect function here. I mean the instance variable. And let me remove the center from here. Okay, now if I run the command, okay, it still gives me the same error. This time it's line 64. So right here, okay, if my direction.length, okay, there we go. If my direction.the length function, now if I run the command, okay, my player is not on the screen. Let me go ahead and add a bunch of control Z's real quick to get my rect back. Okay, now I go up here, my direction.the length function. There we go. If I run the command, okay, where's my player? Did I draw him? Okay, I didn't draw my player, no wonder. Okay, let me go ahead and draw my player. So I'll go with my shield object dot the draw method. Now if I run the command, I have my shield here. My shield moves around the screen, although my coin needs to follow my screen. For that, I think I know where I'm messing up. Okay, so where I'm messing up could be somewhere here. I need to update my position. So I created velocities. I set that equal to direction.normalize multiplied by my speed, which is set to 5 pixels per frame. Self.position increases by my self.velocity. So my coin's position increases by my coin's velocity as long as I update first. Okay, I did update first. This is going to be shield's position. Do I want to go with shield's position? I'm pretty sure not. I'll go with shield underscore rect. Okay, I don't think it's rect because what did I increase my speed with? Okay, I went with rect. Shield underscore rect dot center. Okay, so shield, my shield object dot rect. Rect.center. Now if I run the command, okay, my gold coin is still not following my shield. I mean, still not chasing my shield. That could be because, let's see, I need to update my shield, right? So my shield moves. I'm pretty sure my shield's properties are good. For my coin image does inherit from game objects class. I added a super dungeon in it. I added position. I added speed. I added Rex. Okay, and then I defined the update method. Added a target as well. So my target needs to be my position of my shield. Okay, I added direction. Direction is vector2 with the parameter of target minus my position. So my shield needs to be moving towards my my coin must be moving towards my shield. If direction.length is greater than 0, this avoids 0 division error. Shield actually self.velocity equals to direction.normalize multiplied by self.speed. Okay, if I were to look in the reference code, okay, I think I missed this part, so I need to update my shield center by my self.position. I think that was the part that I forget to do. But you never update the Rect. Guys, I'm so stupid. Okay, let me go with self.rect center. I set that equal to my self.position. There we go. Guys, I do not take credit for this question whatsoever. Although, okay, there we go. Okay, they are in the same speed. I do want to write this code like multiple more times, but honestly, I do gotta go, guys, because I have like an exam soon. That's like my actual college exam. If I fail, I'm actually kind of cooked. That said, I will try finding some time in case if I have any time at all off stream to like work on this. I will be doing that. Let me check for like how long have I been streaming? Because just 2 hours and 30 minutes. I do prefer streaming for like longer, like 4 hours, 5 hours, or even 6 hours sometimes. But then I could do that once my college is over. Because right now, guys, I got like 4 or 5 hours of sleep at max today. That said, let me go to my main camera. Alrighty, guys, that's basically it for the stream. I do actually want to do more. That said, I have a lot more work to get done. But that aside, if you guys enjoyed the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Like it helps with my algorithm, sharing makes you smile, and subscribing is like a cherry on top. And guys, I did start multi-streaming on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube at the same time. So if you guys haven't followed me on Twitch and Kick yet, and you guys enjoy my content, make sure to follow me on Twitch and Kick. And if you guys haven't subscribed to me on YouTube and y'all enjoy my content on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube. And also join the Discord server. Link is in the description and in the pinned comments. And well, I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace.